Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is me, SuperJew911 here. Excuse me, but we have big news. There was an interview with some developers of Creative Assembly, some project heads who are working on some really big historical projects, and we got up some big news. So I'm just going to show you some screenshots and pretty much talk about the interview. So, first up, we have Maya. Now, Maya is working on an expansion of an older game. So, that older game could be Shogun 2, could be Napoleon, and they're going to be releasing a free update with that older game. Whoopee! Now, I don't know if that's going to include the expansion. It could, it might not. I don't really know. But she said that there will be a free update that will be included with the main game. So now, in terms of the expansion, it's going to be, of course, in like whatever the main game is. So I would bet my money on it's going to be Shogun 2 because I think that what they're going to do is expand it. Like they could expand the map and they could include China, like during the samurai, China and all that stuff. I'm a history major, but I'm not like that adept at Chinese history. But I totally think they could do that. I mean, I really, really do. Or they could simply expand the map of Napoleon Total War. I mean, but I could be wrong. So it's really kind of it's up in the air right now, but that is going to be the next big announcement. You don't have nobody can complain about Warhammer 3. Like they can't use that as like if they would announce for some reason Warhammer 3, I'm pretty sure the whole Creative Assembly community, Total War community would go up in arms because I know Total War Warhammer is a great game. I don't have the second one yet because I'm kind of a loser. But no, now they said in this will be their next big announcement about the next historical Total War. So we totally have that to look forward to. Now, one step above that expansion is if you watched my last video and if you've kind of been keeping up with the Total War news, you'll know that Total War Sagas was announced. So you have Jack, who is also he's working on that Total War Sagas. So in the interview, they were asked like, so it's not exactly a follow. It's not like a brand new title. It's working off of a new game. So it's not or an older game. So it's not going to be like. An expansion. It's more so going to be like a focal, like a narrower game. So you had like Fall of the Samurai, which was based off of Shogun 2, and then you had Tilla, which was kind of based off. I mean, it wasn't kind of. It was based off of Rome 2. So it could really kind of be anything. That could even be the expansion for Shogun 2. Like they say it's not going to take place in a brand new era. It's going to take Fall of the Samurai is a really good example because it took place in the same game. It did take place like hundred some years later, but it introduced new features. You had new factions. The map was way different, even though it was still Japan. So I think that's something they could do. I think something more realistically, like besides ancient China, like that, like ancient China, I could see that being an expansion. But I think what they could do is do medieval, like a medieval scenario, because even Jack has said, he works in the modding. He's worked in the modding community. And so if you're in the modding community for Total War, you know that people kind of want a medieval 3 like game. But I really, really do think they could do something like War of the Roses or the Hundred Years' War. But that's just what I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I could totally see that being because you could still keep that. Like you could still use that. You could just focus the map on like France and England or like France, Germany, England, just pretty much Western Europe for the most part. So I definitely think and that's going to be announced after the expansion. So that probably won't be announced until next year at the earliest, maybe 2019 at the latest. So the last big announcement we have, of course, is by Jonas or Yo. I'm just going to say Jonas. Anyway, they are working on the next big historical title, the one that we've all been waiting for a long time. I've lost track. I've lost count of the years. I don't remember when Attila came out. I think 2015 maybe. Anyway, so I guess it really hasn't been that long. But anyway, this is a whole brand new era. If you watched my last video, that was really kind of guessing what it was going to be. But I really do think that it's going to be the Victorian era, or it could be ancient China. See, this is a thing. They announced both of these things all three of these really big announcements at the same time, so they could really kind of intermix with one another. But this one in particular, we know is going to be a brand new setting. So I take it back. I don't really think it's going to be ancient China, even though if it's a separate game, that would be totally new. I really do think it's going to be the Victorian era. I really, really do. I think that the guy Jack, who was working on Total War Sagas, that could be the Civil War era, because that would be a brand new era as well. See, I don't know. You could really just throw ideas left and right, and you won't really know until it's announced. But they do say how they have a big kind of warehouse right near their studio where they're having motion capture, working on new animations. So at least we do know that the new game will have new animations and movements. So that's really cool. But that's really the big news right now. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What you think what you think all these mean. Oh, and one more thing. Jack did mention. He said something in his interview. He said, "Oh, and beware the crow." Now, I scoured the web to see what that might mean, and I'm only finding things that connect it to kind of like Norse mythology. So it's really anyone's guess, to be honest. So I don't really think they're gonna do the Vikings, because even though I can't really compare modding to a huge studio that has millions of dollars, but they do have that Age of Vikings mod for Attila, which is really fun, and that kind of overhauls it. But I'm kind of getting off track here. But so yeah, I don't know, whatever that means. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. So yeah, that's really all the big news that you have. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments below. I might be able to help you out. So this is really exciting. We know the next big news will be a historical title. So yippee, be excited, because I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm sure you have. So in terms of my video content, we have a $12.95 co-op campaign part coming up this weekend. But yeah, that's really all the big news, so be sure to look forward to that. Be sure to join the Discord community, because that's been growing a lot lately, and be sure to subscribe to get updates on all the new content, and I will see you guys next time.
Elite cavalry, sons of Gaul!